Hello there, Jets fans. Welcome to episode number 59 of the JetStream podcast. I am Travis Rubin, and today is January 18th? Yeah, it's the 18th today.
Sure.
Here with Joe Clark and Neil Noonan. I don't know why I'm here.
You should be sports. Just like crying in your
I hate
bedroom.
sports so much.
You should have introduced yourself. I am a Packers fan, and I wanted to kill myself.
Okay, here's the thing. This is my last 3 years of sports. 4 years of sports. Leafs, 18-wheeler off the cliff, miss the playoffs. Leafs, Game 7 collapse.
Yeah.
Leafs, fall off the face of the fucking earth. Bombers, playoffs once, or no, not even successful in any of those years. Not even close.
No.
Packers, up by, 19-7 with 3 minutes left, lose the game.
Ugh.
That just happened, by the way, for anybody who doesn't follow the NFL, which is myself.
The Packers were my safe place.
Yeah, that's true. Hey,
I always sat there like, I have the Packers.
Yeah, that's true.
They might not always be the best, but you know what?
They win most of the time.
They win.
Yeah.
They're fun. It's okay. Aaron Rodgers. And that just got ruined right there.
Aaron
Rodgers. It just got destroyed. Like, I already been asked what was worse, Game 7 or this. Game 7 was definitely worse, because that was like my first time of just absolute painful, heart-wrenching playoff destruction. Now I'm just like immune to it. Like,
I don't know.
I'm still pissed, but like
not quite immune.
I'm not. I could come into a podcast less than half hour later, and I'm not like heart-wrenchingly destroyed like that Leaf game was. Like it's just like another day.
The armor is built up. The wall. It takes a lot more to break your walls
down.
My
immune system has been built.
Yeah.
It's just like another day in the life of being Travis the sports fan.
Exactly.
Every year, at least one team of mine has to do something so incredibly brutal that
it's like you only get chicken pox like what, twice, and then you just can't.
I've just got it like 6 times.
You just can't get it anymore.
And now it's just like, oh, whatever. I have a bump.
Whatever. It's like it's just chicken pox.
It's just a little itchy.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Whatever.
I can't. Like it's so frustrating.
You white girl can't even.
A white girl can't even anymore. Like, the stupid thing is I'm going to cheer for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Why?
Because they're so fun to watch.
Oh, okay.
Like, they played brutal. They still won. So, like, yeah, good for you. Yeah.
And plus, you get to watch Marshawn Lynch do hilarious interviews where he says 2 words.
That's true. Yeah. Not 1 word. And he repeats it multiple times.
What does he say?
He changes it up.
Okay. Yeah. I would definitely. I thought he just said, like. Oh, what was the one? Oh, was that Russell Westbrook who did like he competed hard or something like that?
Yeah.
That was
or we
fun.
executed.
Yeah, executed. That was the one. That was just this week.
Executed.
Executed. Yeah, we executed. I think we did a good job executing. It's a great one.
One reporter asked him, he's like, "Hey, like, why are you upset?" He says, "I don't like you."
Yes.
I just don't like you.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. So I'm going to get this apology out of the way now. Jets fans, when the Jets do something absolutely atrocious and just fall off the face of the earth,
it's Travis's fault.
It's my fault.
Absolutely.
Like, it will be my fault. Because I will cheer for them until they play the Leafs, which at this point is never going to happen in the playoffs. But I'll cheer for them. And then watch, the Jets will like make the playoffs this year. They'll be that team. They'll be up 3-0 in a series against like the Anaheim Ducks. And then they'll get like shut out for 4 games straight.
And it'll all be Travis's fault.
And everyone will be like, well, this sucks. And I'll be like, welcome.
We'll know who to blame.
Yes, you all know who to blame.
Which is kind of comforting in a way.
Yeah, exactly. You all know. Like, the excuse is built in.
Yeah.
It's my fault. It has to be.
Yeah.
Well, like, even last year, Withers in the playoffs, every team I was cheering for, no, of course they're not going to win.
Lumbus.
It's ridiculous.
Lumbus. And
every one of them. Like,
it's true.
It's the life of Travis.
It's just the way it goes.
Sports are just out to get me.
Yep.
It's the way it is. I started watching the Raptors a little bit more when they were winning.
Oh, that's what... Travis!
Yeah, now they just can't win a goddamn game.
You killed the Raptors.
If Lowry's not starting in the game, I'm knocking at your door, dude.
Yeah.
See? TFC?
Killing me.
Or the Blue Jays this year?
The Blue Jays.
We go see a Blue Jays game. They're doing great.
Yeah, as soon as you... Yeah. Well, they won the game we were at, so it's a bit of a delay.
And then they just exploded for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
TFC, well, they were kind of already faltering.
Yeah, TFC's been bad forever.
Yeah. Jermaine Defoe played in the game we were at. Now he's just like, fuck you guys, I'm gone.
Yep. I'm going to go back to the EPL.
I hate this. It's evil. It's terrible. It's probably terrible listening, but I don't give a shit because I'm pissed. Sports is the worst.
Sports is the
Fucking
worst.
Sprots.
Let's continue talking about them for another hour.
Let's continue the podcast where we distinctively just talk about sports.
Yeah, and pretty much that's it.
It was an eventful week.
Absolutely. I think it's a mostly positive week.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking Jets.
It was very positive.
Which I sure hope we are.
Yeah.
Asked a question on a Jets podcast.
We have a lot to talk about. Mathieu Perreault had a heck of a week, but just another thing that just had to come crashing down, of course.
Obviously. Travis's fault.
Jets had a hell of a week. Perreault had a 4-goal performance, of course. Andre Pavlik actually did something great.
Gail McDonald almost won $1 million.
Yeah, there's talk of a Teemu statue that we got to talk about. Maybe bring back the old jerseys. We'll talk about that a little bit. Kevin Cheveldayoff. We'll talk about our opinions on him. We got some fan questions to answer. We've got the usual great thing. Nothing really bad has happened just yet in regards to our 3 regular segments. So that's like the final straw.
Okay.
If somehow one of those 3 things that we do at the end of every show just like explodes or something terrible, like let's say this TV just like erupts or just breaks in the middle of one of those segments, then it's official. Like I'm done with sports. I'm just gonna. I'll seriously, if that ever happens, if the TV just shuts off.
I just want to say,
I will remove my headphones. Just leave.
The amount of times I've heard Travis say, if insert improbable event happens here, I'll be done with sports. The amount of times I've heard you say that exact phrase with different things inserted in there is actually hilarious, and you're still not done.
The stupid thing is a couple of those things have
actually happened. I know.
They've actually happened. I usually say the most unrealistic, improbable things, like the TV just randomly breaking out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they happen. Yeah. And then I just come crawling back.
Yeah, every time.
Throwing more money at this.
Glutton for punishment.
It's so... I hate it. I hate it. Maybe that's why the Jets are actually having a decent year. Because I was like, they're going to suck.
Yeah, that's probably why.
It's just what's going to happen. They're going to be bad. But of course... When I come out and I just say they're not doing well this year, they have a good year. I'm gonna have like pitchforks outside my house, just getting me out of here. Obviously. Stop reporting them. Just stop watching them completely.
Just leave.
God, it's Mathieu Perreault. Let's get on a somewhat happy topic.
Yeah, I'm getting notifications on this guy on my phone. Please explain.
He had a hell of a week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to a bit of his injuries in a second. The Jets also had the hell of a week.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, 2 weeks ago you were saying they needed to get through? This is probably the toughest stretch in their schedule.
Absolutely.
After a bad loss against Arizona Coyotes. They play again tonight. Pavlik is playing again tonight, which, whatever. They went 4-0-1.
Yeah.
Beat the Kings. Lost the Ducks in overtime. Beat the Panthers.
And beat the Hawks.
Beat the Hawks.
Yeah.
And beat a blank, and there's one more in there. Who am I forgetting?
Stars?
Stars.
Yes, also the Stars.
Neil's on his game today.
Dude, come on.
It's impressive.
And those are games they need, those conference games. They need those.
It was impressive.
Dallas and Chicago are huge.
It's hard not to be optimistic as a Jets fan right now.
Absolutely.
But then remember, Jets fans, I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah, there's your problem.
So don't get too optimistic because something will happen. Something terrible will happen. Okay. I gotta lighten the mood here. Neil, play something fancy to get the mood lightened. Find something just... Oh, yeah. There we go. This will lighten things up a bit. Just as we start the conversation here. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Now it's upbeat.
Here we go. We're getting ready to go here. Okay. Mathieu Perreault. So had a hell of, not just a week, but the past month, Mathieu Perreault has been absolutely on fire.
Very true.
He's been a possession beast. He's been a points beast. 25 points in 24 games at one point.
And a goals beast.
Goals beast. 4 goals in one game. Just, who does that? No one does that.
Kyle Okposo did that, actually.
You know what? Shut up, Joe.
2 days later.
The Jets are all that matter on this podcast. Fuck the rest of the NHL.
Oh, so you're saying that to me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm the one who only talks about...
Yeah. Only the Jets allowed.
Yeah, sorry.
Unless I want to talk about the Leafs.
Unless you want to talk about anything else.
Unless I want to talk about something else. Yeah. Then we can talk about whatever that is. Screw you for trying to be original and bring your own thoughts and opinions on this podcast, Joe.
Sorry, never again.
So outlandish. Screw this cheesehead. Get this out of here. Yeah.
That was a great touch, by the way.
Stupid cheesehead. I
thought we were trying to lighten the mood. You just got really angry again.
I got the energy back, though. It was very low and just dull there.
Yeah, you really just went all out.
Wow, we've never played this long. This is lasers firing now. Pew, pew, pew. This is excellent. Okay. So, where do I want to talk about now? Mathieu Perreault did some good things. Question that I want to drop that we're going to talk about first. Is he the best free agent pickup in the offseason? I can't think of a better one.
I'm struggling to think of another one off the top of my head.
Travis Yost wrote a great article. All right, Neil. Good with the music. I'm ready to go. That was just getting distracting there.
Okay, that's fine.
Travis Yost.
I was wondering how long you're going to
Yeah, I know. I'm happy now.
Good energy,
kind
though.
of.
Good energy.
There's football. I can see a football game, though, and every time I just glance over Joe's shoulder, I'm just like, damn it.
Football.
But you know what? It's okay. Travis Yost wrote an article this week. He works for TSN, talking about free agent pickups, and he kind of highlighted some of the big ones.
Yeah.
One of which was Dave Bolland, which is just brutal for the stupid Florida Panthers. He also talked about a guy, I can't even remember his name, who has taken Mathieu Perreault's spot in Arizona, in Anaheim for the most part. Did you see earlier? Oh, Brian Little just scored, put the Winnipeg Jets up 1-0. All is good. Did you see that clip? It was a Leafs Anaheim game, and the ref went to go call a penalty against Anaheim, and he's like, penalty to number whatever on the era, or no, he said Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
And I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, he's
not even close.
He was calling penalty on Anaheim, and he said Atlanta.
And then you could see that look of disappointment on his own face, and he's like, Atlanta, Anaheim. Yeah. And I was like, yes, you screwed up, sir.
It doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, Perreault's got to be one of the best.
I think so. Yeah.
Overall, even if he could be the most skilled player, and he's signed for cheap-ass money, and I just have to laugh at Anaheim Ducks for saying, you know what, we're just not even going to put a claim on you because you're an RFA, which I forgot. I forgot he was an RFA. They didn't even have to let that get to that. They could have just put anything on him and forced him to stay, but they didn't.
And yet they're still amazing.
Shh. Not talking about how good the Anaheim Ducks are right now. This is Jets positivity right here.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Team's winning.
Yes.
Team's winning right now. We're not going to talk about the team they lost to. Screw that team. Screw them. Ryan Kessler and his stupid ways.
Yeah.
Screw them for taking Teemu Solani. Well, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Teemu's ours. But not really. Technically, he belongs to Arizona, but we're just going to ignore that because screw history. As all history teachers everywhere are just like, what?
Yeah.
Shh. I think it's fair to say, can you imagine a better Winnipeg Jet who just, when you think of a Winnipeg Jets identity or of a player who plays for the Jets, it's just Mathieu Perreault encapsulates that so perfectly.
Just a nice guy.
Oh, he's a nice guy, drastically underrated forward, who is finally starting to get a little bit of respect. But that's what the Jets are, is ridiculously underrated players who everyone's just don't give a crap about them, who just perform amazingly. And the only reason they haven't been good in the past is because defense has been iffy somewhat sometimes, even them, not really. But the goaltending was just atrocious.
Yeah. No, I think he kind of encapsulates. I mean, Brian Little does kind of the same.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Idea, yeah. But he's just been there for so much longer. Mathieu Perreault's it's
a new shiny toy for all the media to be like, look at him.
This new shiny underrated toy.
Guy with amazing mustache.
Yeah, he's got a great mustache beard going. Amazing. He's got a little bit of a curl in it, but not
exactly. It's just enough of the little curl that you're I'm French.
Yeah.
But also look at this baby.
Yeah, but also look at this massive beard.
Exactly.
And don't worry, it connects.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not even separated. It's it connects a little bit, but he still takes some pieces and twirls it away. So he's I'm that fancy, but I'm also classy because it connects.
Yeah.
Trevor, who we've had on this show, who we need to have back soon because he keeps mentioning it, and I keep telling him, yes, you're coming back, and then I just forget to do it, and then I'm like, crap, it's Sunday already, because weeks just fly by apparently nowadays, and I'm like, I should have probably told Trevor to come in today, but forgot. Sorry, Trevor, I promise, you're coming back at some point. It will happen. I promise. But he said something that I think I should agree with. As we all know, Daniel Carcillo, that piece of crap.
Everybody just hates
so much. Our little golden boy.
So much shade being thrown at Dan Carcillo lately.
Man. And hurt Mathieu Perreault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get into that in a second. But what Trevor said is that he's going to let his beard grow.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
To replicate Mathieu Perreault until he comes back.
Which is not really realistically that far away from what they're saying, but you never know for sure.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might do the same thing. Just let it go.
You weren't gonna shave it anyways.
Well, no, not completely shave it. I trim it all the time. It's starting to get a little puffy right now.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I might just
let it go wild.
When did you shave?
Clean?
Yeah.
November.
Oh my god.
That was the last time I was clean. Now I just
completely forgot about that. Oh, God.
I just trim it occasionally so it doesn't get completely out of hand. I got some strands over here that are growing a little bit faster right now. But you know what? Who has time to shave? which is honestly how this started.
Yeah.
It was just whatever, because I'm sure you remember the first time I let this grow out, it was greasy as hell, like it was bad.
Yeah.
And now at least see it connects.
Yeah, it's a beard.
It connects.
I'm not gonna,
It's a beard.
I'm not gonna take that away from you. I mean, I can't really do any facial hair beaking because I just have no abilities. So
I need someone with a real beard to walk in here and just be like,
yeah,
it's not a beard.
yeah, exactly.
I'll be like, I know.
It's like, well, you have a good point, sir.
You have a very fair
You're
point.
an excellent beardsman. I cannot compare.
Excellent beardsman. Okay, well, we have to talk about him being out, but here, the first things first. Question: how long is Dan Carcillo going to get suspended for?
I'm gonna go with, well, okay. Here's the thing: when they ask for the in-person interview, isn't that like setting a precedent in a way for over 5 games? It doesn't have to be, but like, why would you do it if it wasn't going to be more?
Why are you going to waste everybody's time?
Everybody's time is what I'm saying.
If you aren't going to go over 5.
I just got a thingy. Blackhawks forward Dan Carcillo will have phone hearing Monday for...
Yeah, because he said, screw it.
So he said he wasn't going to do the in-person.
He said he's not coming down. Like,
okay,
which is he would have to get flied to New York.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a lot to do an in-person hearing, especially in the middle of the season. So I guess 6 games, like,
yeah,
why not? I don't know. That
That
seems a little bit excessive to me, but I don't know.
It's not that it's Dan. It's not the act that's going to get him the 6 games suspension, because guys do that all the time.
Well, I know, and that's what got me. That's what got me about this whole scenario was like, I look at that play and I'm like, yeah, it obviously looks bad when you slow it down and zoom in on the fact that his arm like caves in the wrong way. And you're like, wow, that's terrible. But you look at the actual play in the course of the game and you're like, that is not something that's uncommon.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It was that unfortunate that it resulted in an injury, and it was botched by the refs. They didn't make the right call, even close. So I think that's going to kind of stack on to what's going to be decided for a suspension.
I think the reason it's being blown up, first of all, is that he hurt somebody. That's the number one thing. Yeah, that injury is number one thing.
Yeah.
Second is who he is. He has a serious history of
how many times
being a little shit.
You know how many times?
I'm not sure. Neil,
I meant to look it up.
You can try to look that up. How many times Dan Carcillo's?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just watching it. I hate this guy already. Like, what a dick.
No, he's a prick.
What a dick.
He says that face to him too, where you just
he just looks like a guy. You look at him and be like, I don't like you.
It's like that Patrick Coletta kind of look where you're just like, I just don't like you already, and I don't even know you.
Exactly.
What do you want me to look up?
1-1. How many times Dan Carcillo has been suspended in the past? I'm sure somebody's listening right now. It's like, he's been suspended this many times.
Sorry, listener, I'm not that fast. Oh my god.
It's our fault. We don't know.
Yeah.
But also the fact that it was away from the play. Like, it's one thing to cross-check a guy and all that when you're in the actual situation, but when you're away from the play, I think that's kind of the big thing right now, is that Perreault wasn't even looking. The puck wasn't at his feet. It wasn't anywhere near him, and he just kind of
cross-checked him. Blatant.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it multiple times before where the stick breaks. I don't know. That's why I'm like, how... I guess his hands are close together, limits the chance of it breaking, but
I don't know.
Still, like, I don't think his arm's broken.
Those sticks, it's so iffy. Like, if there's any little bit of damage to them, they can just break. True. It's just... It has to be just right, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. Second issue, obviously, is how long is Perreault going to be out for. Now, Paul Maurice says he's going to be out for a couple games, should be back after the All-Star break.
There's 2 games before that. There's 2 games until the All-Star break. They play... Columbus and
Pittsburgh. No, Pittsburgh's after. It was tonight and Columbus.
Oh yeah, Arizona and Columbus, and then there's All-Star break. So I mean, 2 games, then the All-Star break, and then hopefully he's back after that. But
he also said that Evander Kane, Mark Stewart, and Zach Bogosian would all be out until February. No, Bogosian was January.
One of them was mid-January. Enstrom was mid-January. The rest were February.
Enstrom, Stewart, and Kane.
Yeah,
we're all supposed to be out until February.
Yeah,
it's not February yet, and they're all been back for multiple games.
Yeah,
so no real idea.
Take it with a grain of salt.
The other report is that he has a torn ligament in his elbow. That is less good.
I know nothing about this. Travis, you're the authority on this.
That would make sense in the fact of how his arm moved.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you have your arm going like this, and you're like the way it kind of collapsed, it would look like it. Yeah. But also, imagine I'm standing in a hockey game right now. I just went like this. If you slow-mode that really quickly and had something covering my arm, and you just saw my arm go like this, you could make a case that it looks like it broke.
Well, it did look like it broke. When, like, just the way it
moves.
Visual, yeah.
Because people don't think that is a natural movement. But if watch a football hit, the number of times a guy's arm goes like that and doesn't break is multiple. It gets all construed because of where padding and shit is. I would honestly be kind of impressed if Dan Carcillo tore a ligament in his elbow with a cross check. I'd be very impressed.
Beast cross check.
Because how many people tear, other than baseball pitchers, it's not a very common injury to have a one-time. Even then, it's overuse.
Yeah, of course.
It's very difficult to tear a ligament in your elbow just like that.
So maybe not fully torn, but
there could be a slight tear, possibly. And in that situation, I think that might be the worst case, is it's slight, because then you have to wait. And you're waiting until pain subsides, you're waiting until a ligament is not going to get tons of blood flow. So it would take a while to heal. It could just heal quickly, but it's professional athlete bodies, right? Like they come back from shit all the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to guess as to how long they would be out. If the only other circumstance, and this is more so an ACL thing that I've heard before, is you could just leave it. If it's completely ruptured, you can't do any more damage to your ACL, right? So you can play. We had a guy, Neil, at our age, playing basketball, who played half of his last season on a ruptured ACL because you can't do any more damage to your ACL once it's already torn.
So you're just dealing with the pain, basically.
Even then, there's not much pain there. Your knee is not stable.
That's gross.
So you could technically do other damage. That's why even if you rupture your ACL, you should wear a brace.
Yeah.
You could do more damage to other structures, but you're not going to do any more damage to your ACL. And now, if he completely tore a ligament in his elbow, completely gone, technically, depending on what ligament and where, he couldn't do more damage to that ligament. It would be probably pretty painful to keep playing. And I imagine taking a wrist shot in that position, not something you're going to want to mess with. But the musculature is all still there. It's all still intact. You could realistically not do any more damage, play out the rest of the season, and have surgery in the offseason. It is feasible. It is feasible.
Yeah, okay.
I've never done it myself, so I can't say whether or not it's possible. So I think trying to diagnose this and guess how long he's going to be out for is ridiculous. You're not going to guess close. There's so many different things that could be factoring into this. Evander Kane, I wouldn't be shocked if he has a broken bone in his foot with how people keep talking about this, and he's playing right now.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways you can look at it. You can't guess. It's hard to say. So I'm not going to even play that game. It could be anywhere from he's back 2 weeks to he's done for the year. I hope he's not done for the year.
That would really suck.
Because that would be brutal.
Because that would mean Thurber on the third line for the rest of the year.
Well, exactly. That's where we're going to go next, is what should the Jets do now? We had a lot, what I tweeted out earlier, questions for the podcast. We got few responses of people wanting to know how the Jets are going to improve this current team. I think that kind of ties into Perreault being hurt, potentially. Even if he's not hurt, how are the Jets going to improve this team? I've heard people calling for Klingberg to be called up. Mm-hmm. He's got 23 points in 40 games. Maybe. I guess this could be a shot for him. I want to see a trade, personally.
Yeah.
We talked about this 2 episodes ago. Even with Klitzum hurt, you still have guys that you need to figure out what you want to do.
Well, there's people that need to be moved.
You got to make... what are you going to do? Trouba was by far your best defenseman, maybe Enstrom, for a long period of time. You're going to now slot him in the third pairing? I think you can take better advantage. Yeah, again, we talked about this a while ago. Go back a couple episodes to listen to this conversation. You don't want to completely hamper yourself by trading somebody away. People calling for Enstrom to be traded, shut up.
That's so stupid.
Don't trade Toby Enstrom. Who else is on your left side? Ben Sherratt and Mark Stewart?
Great.
What are you going to... I understand they played well without him. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're not trading a left side defenseman.
They played well without a lot of guys.
Don't do it. You don't trade a left side defenseman in this situation. Your right side is where you're strong. That's where you're dealing from, if you're dealing at all. Can't trade Klitzum because he's gone. I think he's gone for the year. Yeah. 2 back surgeries in a year. Klitzum, retire.
Yeah, seriously, before you kill yourself.
Back injuries are not something you mess around with.
No. He's going to not be able to do anything for the rest of his life if he keeps on at this pace.
Obviously, this Thorburn experiment and just bumping him to the third line is not working, so I don't know why that's always the go-to. I don't know how many times that's going to have to fail before that's not the choice.
Has anyone actually ever asked Paul Maurice?
I don't think so.
I've heard he plays a predictable game or something like that, or we know his game and we like how he plays and plays predictable style, so it's reliable is the word, I think.
Reliably awful.
Mm. That's the thing. It's sure, you know what he's going to do, but it's not good.
I'm reliably miss the dartboard regular. I'm pretty reliably terrible at darts.
There you go.
You don't want me playing darts with you, even though I'm reliable.
Well, I'd like to play against you.
Exactly.
I gotta
As most
dart my
teams don't
head
play
once.
against Thorburn. Did you
Sorry.
really? What was that? Did you seriously?
Yeah, I
How?
was outside, like in like around my driveway, playing with kids around the street, and one of my friends on my block had a dartboard in his garage, and decided to send one over close to my house, and boom, in the head.
No way.
Yeah, it went maybe like a
Jeez.
centimeter deep.
That's-
but it didn't bleed a lot. It was weird.
It's kind of badass.
Yeah. Anyways,
How did a dart in the head not bleed a lot?
I don't know.
Are you Are you
know.
okay, Neil? You might want to tell the doctor
I
about
turned
that.
out okay. I can make podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Jeez, dart in the head. That's nuts. Just call Thorburn and let him play some darts. See what happens there. God, his nose just.
Yeah, I would, I don't know. You probably couldn't see.
What?
His vision would be impaired because his nose sticks out too far.
Oh, nice.
You're reaching there, Joe. No props for that joke.
I was tried.
Anyways, what do the Jets do? Like, my bet is trade someone on the right side for a decent third liner.
There you go.
Powell's check down.
Yeah, it's not going to be. You're not going to be trading it. And the thing is, you need somebody to get to fill that position. So you don't need anybody better than a third liner. So there's no point in trading a guy like people saying Enstrom or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that if all you need to get back is a third liner?
Well, I mean, if it's never a bad thing to shoot higher.
Yeah, but
Like that makes I'd love if they get a top 6 guy for Bogosian, fine. Again, not Enstrom.
Yeah.
because then you're putting yourself in a huge hole.
yeah,
The only reason I suggest Bogosian, as I've said before, is because you can fill him.
Mhm.
You can move Buff back up, Buff and Sherrod up there, fine. Then you have Enstrom and Trouba, great. You're going to be playing Stewart anyways. I think I've come to accept that.
that is happening.
Stu
yes.
and Postma, Stu and anybody, whatever. I like it to be
Anybody
Postma.
other than Harrison, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Ugh. That's a whole nother story of predictable, stupid crap. This
Yeah.
team does. But
That's a hilarious. If you want to watch something, well, hilarious / sad, just anytime Harrison and Stewart are on the ice together, just watch what happens.
it's
Bad news.
when they were on with the fourth line at the same time.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
It's actually it's sad, honestly. Very sad. Kind of funny, but sad.
I feel bad for everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's probably the response. I mean, I'd like to think they would do something because it seems like things seem to be a little different.
I think they're
Right.
happy with Thorburn on third line. I don't think they're going to change anything.
That's
I don't think they're going to change anything.
stupid. Ugh.
I don't see them making a trade to fill that spot.
I'd like to think they would. They've been in talks. You never know because no one out of this city ever breaks anything.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, wasn't there the guy who the most recent update or the first update on Mathieu Perreault's injury?
Came out of Quebec!
Yeah, it was a guy from Quebec.
Like,
I
what?
was like, that is perfect.
How does that happen?
That is great. It was like some beat writer for the Habs or something, or
Our news breaks in other cities all the
I
time.
know.
I
It's
don't get how that keeps happening.
So funny.
How hard is your job? Like,
That's actually hilarious.
I don't get it. Whatever. So, talked about Mathieu Perreault. His big game. The stupid thing about his big game was that the guy scored 4 goals, and that was pretty much just ignored because a woman almost won $1 million.
Yeah.
He the talk about his 4-goal game was just like, whatever. That happens all the time. Only the second hat trick in Jets 2.0 history. First time someone scored 4 goals.
Second hat trick, and both of those hat tricks, nobody knew that they actually happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the little one, 2 of the 3 goals, including the hat trick goal, nobody was sure if it crossed the line until after they reviewed it.
Yeah.
And then the Perreault one, his third one was a deflection, and he got literally like a little baby.
I still don't think he touched
no,
it.
I think he might have. But anyways, like nobody actually knew. Like that was the most awkward hat throwing celebration because 3 people threw their hats right after, and then everybody's like, "No, I'm saving it just in case."
Yeah.
And
that
then
one guy on TSA who just was
he's like, "Hat?
huh?
No,
Huh?
yeah,
Huh?
3."
And then it was
2,
announced, doesn't
3.
even throw his hat.
Yeah, and then he grabbed somebody else, gave him his hat, and he tossed their hat for them.
What a loser.
Yeah.
Bro. But Kate, that whole performance was just like shoved aside because Gail, yeah, it's great. That whole story, yay, oh, she almost won $1 million. Blah, 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 lovely, whatever.
Gail from Brandon.
Like, good for you.
Gail McDonald.
It's great. I wish it would have happened. That would have been cool.
I don't really care.
Can we have any respect for the guy who's basically been a huge turning point for your team? No, of course not. But 2 days later, when Andrei Pavlik has a good game, you could almost hear Dennis Bayak splooging as he was talking about it.
Yeah.
and it was the talk of everything for like 3 days.
That was the Dallas game, right?
Up until, yeah. Oh, sorry, not 3 days, but like up until probably halfway through the Chicago game, it's all anybody talked about.
That's true, actually. They were still talking about it.
They wouldn't shut up about it. The guy was on the bench, and they would still talk about it.
They would zoom in on his face on the bench. He's like, oh, and Pavlik had a great performance on him. And he did.
Congratulations. Yes.
He did.
I'm not going to take that away from him.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a game.
He did.
Once.
Yeah.
What happened the 4 games before that? He let in 4 goals every time.
Yeah. And he'll probably do that again.
Probably. That's what he does. He had one good game. Can we just chill? That day of that game, people were talking on the radio about trading him.
Trading who?
Pavlik.
Yeah, well, hey, the value is never going to be higher.
Oh, exactly. Before that game even happened.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Can we chill? He had a good game. Okay. Oh, the best game I've seen a goaltender put in since the Jets came back. Congratulations. Ben Scrivens had like a 50-something save shutout last year.
Yeah.
And you all talk like he's shit. Slowly remove Andre Pavlik's penis from your mouths for 5 seconds and use your brains.
Yeah.
Please.
I don't know why I don't understand why I think it's because he's very polarizing, because like there's people like you and other ones who like rag on him completely, and who
look at his numbers
for good reason
and watch him play and say this is not sustainable.
And then there's, I guess, people like, I don't know, maybe they feel bad for him, or
they see a couple big saves and they were drawn in the first year with the Pavliktricity bullshit.
Yeah,
they got him the MVP of a team that he was dragging down.
Yeah, I just don't really understand the people who love him.
I don't get it.
Like, why do you like bad players? You know what I'm saying?
Because
unless
you hear
they're a
things
good
about them.
Personality, or there's other things going off the ice. The only thing I've ever heard about Andre Pavlik off the ice is he got DUI.
Exactly.
That's literally the only off ice news I've ever heard about him. Or I saw him take a picture with like somebody at the Iceplex, like one of my friends, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's literally, honestly, literally the only stuff I've ever heard off the ice. Okay, so he's not a great guy off the ice. He drinks and drives. That's not good. He's not good on the ice.
I heard rumors of, I think it was in the media, I heard rumors that him and Perreault apparently like batted heads or something, even though they were friends.
Yeah.
Like,
he's called out his teammates repeatedly.
Yeah, he's called them out. They've never said a word about him that wasn't positive.
All they ever say is nice things about him. Yeah.
And he calls them out. Like,
so it looks
why
to
do
me,
people love him so much?
It looks to me like he's not that great of a guy in the locker room. He's not that good of a guy off the ice in the community.
We've seen the photo evidence of him giving the mad shade after a win.
Pretty bad on the ice, so I'm not really sure why people like him.
I do not
I'm not sure I get it.
When you have a better option, or a guy who's outperformed him, despite the fact that he's having a decent, compared to his standards, year, there's still a guy outperforming him, his decent year, and you still want Andre Pavlik?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it. But yeah, like I was saying, before that game, there was talks of possibly trading Pavlik.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think
that's possible?
I don't think anybody wants that contract, to be honest with you. I was actually asked this the other day by a coworker. He's like, oh, what do you think? Maybe he's like, I think they should move Pavlik. And I'm like, well, yeah, that would be ideal.
You missed your chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that would be ideal. I'm like, here's the thing. Even if they tried to move Pavlik, can you think of anybody who wants that contract? If they know what they're doing, if they're smart, nobody wants that contract. No. And I'm like, they have to buy him out. Like, that's the only thing. You're going to take a loss on.
And they missed their chance.
And they missed their chance. Exactly.
They missed their shot. It's not going to happen. And at this point, just keep him as like split games, whatever. Keep him as your backup. Just let that run out. Because I'm not going to say you should rush Hellebuyck in and have 2 rookies as there. Because Hutch is still unproven as a whole.
Yep.
It's just the fact that an unproven goaltender was, as we predicted, going to do better than, if not just equal to, Andre Pavlik. It was something anyone could have seen coming.
And it's been holding true so far.
Look where they are in the standings now because of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's other factors, but it's what it is. You just laying out the facts, interpret them as you will.
Yep.
It's not that good. Not good at all. Just people need to chill out about this guy. What else people have heard from other cities? I can't do it. Anyway, I was going to try to wrap something together.
We're trying to find some reasons.
Trying to wrap something together here.
He probably has blackmail. The Chevey nudes.
Yeah,
oh,
Chevey
that's
nudes.
right. We didn't say that.
Talked
That's
about
true.
That. The Chevey nudes.
He's probably
what it is.
That shouldn't. That shouldn't affect public opinion. But whatever.
He's got nudes on everybody in the city.
Literally everyone. Like he has my nudes, your nudes, Neil's nudes.
He's the one who hacked Snapchat, probably.
Oh, yeah, it was Pavlik.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's what his contract money's going to.
Wow. No, that just blew my mind. Literally, that just blew my mind. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. He doesn't have anything on me because I don't have Snapchat, so suck it, Andre.
Been in a Snapchat, though.
Sorry?
Have you been in
a Snapchat? Not nude.
That you know of?
I guess.
Maybe this is just way more intertwined than we ever could have predicted.
Oh, man.
And he's got, like, people out there just, like, peering in bedroom windows, taking Snapchats,
really
and he just waited.
Deep right now.
And then he hacked everybody, and he just looked up Winnipeg, and then, like, somehow connected that to people who have ever said anything bad about him, and, like, put those things together. This is what we're getting. Love for Andre Pavlik. He just hasn't told me yet that he has nudes of me.
Yeah.
Not
that there hasn't been a reason
Snapchat,
yet.
but...
There hasn't been a reason yet. Once he just waits for the time, that's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I feel like he'd have a lot of reasons to be mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless he's somehow ignored me all this time, which would be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, not hard.
But unless you're Zach Bogosian, apparently just blocks me on Twitter for nothing. Prick. On to bigger and better things, I guess. Teemu Solani. Talked about him last week. Big Schreitz. Teemu. We all love Teemu. Even those who don't remember him love him. He had a ceremony last week. It was lovely. It was fantastic. That sparked an interesting conversation and debate in the city. The major debate, or a couple different debates. The first one of which was the potential idea of the Jets building a statue for Teemu. And that was debated on both sides. Free Press had Melissa Martin wrote the kind of, we need to chill out on this side. Like, let's just move on from Teemu here, which I thought was very well written. And then Gary Lawless wrote an article earlier. He wrote his first, and Melissa's more in response. Gary's was kind of saying, well, why not? Like, he is that guy. So it should be something that people could consider. That could be the Jets' way of remembering Teemu Solani. So what are your thoughts? I want both your thoughts on building a Teemu statue.
In general, my opinion on statues, it's a little bit much. Yeah. That's like just like literally just statues represent, like, I'm okay with, a monument or something like representing something, but like literally a statue of a person, like, it just creeps me out a little bit.
Remember you said that when I get to my point, okay?
Because like, yeah, great guy, great in the community, great hockey player
for 3 years.
Also that, let's keep in mind the length of time. But I mean, he's... I don't want to belittle what he's done in his life.
Because people will attack you like crazy.
He's a hockey player, and he's a good guy. That is what he is. There's a lot of those. What? Like,
that's true.
I'm sorry. Like, I like Teemu just as much as the next guy. But I mean, let's think about how... I feel like that would like belittle other statues of things that are really important.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I'm sorry. Yes, I love Teemu. He's
way
a great
to put
guy.
Context to just hockey's a whole, Joe.
Yeah, sorry. Great
why
guy.
Why don't we just have a podcast about all the doctors who save lives instead, Joe?
That's my point exactly. Yeah. What are we really valuing here? Yeah, he's a great guy, great hockey player. Don't think he deserves a statue because he's just a dude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that makes sense. That's fair. Okay, but if they were going to build a statue for anybody,
not Teemu,
for any hockey player,
okay.
It's going to happen. Let's say it's going to happen no matter what.
Okay.
There's a marble slab just sitting in the MTS Center, and there's a gun pointed to everybody's heads, and they say, "We will kill all of these people if you don't choose right now to build a statue of something related to hockey." Would you not pick Teemu Solani?
It's gonna be a statue of the Chevey nudes that Andre Pavlik.
You can't pick a statue of all the nudes. There's so many.
Just the best one. Somebody's like lying in some sultry pose.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Exactly like that. And that'll be the statue. Just mark.
That is gross.
Face.
But you know what? You technically just saved all those lives. So statue of Joe.
Yeah, so make a statue of me. I just saved like a bunch of
so many lives.
Yeah, seriously. I'm a saint.
You are a saint.
Yeah.
Neil?
No, I'm a Joe. There's got to be a certain level to get a statue. Like, again, always coming from basketball, but like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Jerry West, all these guys that have statues in front of their respective buildings, there's a certain level.
Yeah.
Like, if you name any of those names, everyone knows who they are. I don't know if everyone knows who Teemu Solani is. Winnipeg, yes.
I think all hockey fans know who he is. But no, I see what you're saying. Like a Wayne Gretzky, obviously.
Right.
Like if you're going to do a statue for hockey, Wayne Gretzky. I mean, obviously it's not the same level Joe's saying, but we're going to pretend we're not going to go deep here. Yeah. We're not going to go American Sniper on this podcast here.
Oh my god. Don't even get me going on that.
What? It's a good movie.
Oh, so good.
Nice.
But like,
I can't wait.
Like heavy, man.
Yeah.
Super heavy. Like not what I was expecting. I did not do enough research before I went and saw it, and I didn't know it was based on a true story.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a fun, intense movie. And then it ended, and I was like, holy fuck.
Oh man. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, ridiculous. I recommend it. It's a good movie to see. It's very real and very heavy and pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
And
All right.
like I've never heard a theater more quiet at the end of a movie because everybody was just like, what the F?
Well, we're not going to do that to this podcast. There's something else to what you're saying.
No, I just think there's got to be a certain level to receive a statue. But if we want someone to have a statue, he's probably the first choice in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say he's the most universally loved.
Well, yeah, like we talked about that last week. Like to match that is going to be near impossible for people here. Back to your point of how did you frame it? I'm forgetting how you framed that. The first thing you said about like a monument to remember something or something like that. I like the idea of a statue of Teemu, but not just for Teemu. I like the idea as like a final kind of the old Jets, because I think when people think back to remembering the Jets, they think whiteouts and they think Teemu Solani sniping that glove out of the air.
Yeah, obviously.
Of all, like we said this before, I was like 3 years old when that happened, and I could still, in my mind, perfectly picture every event that led to that goal and that celebration. Mm-hmm. Kids for years have replicated that exact celebration in Winnipeg on ice sheets everywhere.
Yeah.
Every time they hit a post in shinny, glove in the air, sniping it down, even though it's 1-0 in your game of shinny.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee in this city, somewhere, a kid has been playing high school hockey and done that celebration, been destroyed by the other team.
And then immediately line brawl.
Because of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I would like to pick almost that moment, if you just to remember the old Jets. Build it, make sure the old Jets jersey is on there with the logo, and then on the plaque that you have, it's not Teemu Solani. If you want to explain the statue, yeah, Teemu Solani doing this and this date, but it's honoring the Winnipeg Jets' original franchise as just kind of a reminder of who they were. Because in 20 some odd years, people aren't going to people now barely think about the Hartford Whalers when you think Carolina Hurricanes. They don't think of the Quebec Nordiques as much when you think Colorado Avalanche. They are who they are. So in 10, 15, 20 years, people are going to be forgetting the Atlanta Thrashers. They're going to forget. There's going to be kids in 20 years from now or 20 years old who don't even remember the fact that the Jets left this city at first. They'll be told, but they never lived in a time when the Jets weren't here.
Like when they're little kids now and just being born now, you know.
Well, 5-year-olds now.
Years down the line.
They're not going to remember the Jets not being here.
Yeah, as far as they're concerned, Jets have been there forever, right?
Exactly. They've always just been here.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's something that is important to remember for Jets fans as a whole, or even the city as a whole, is to remember the fact this team left once before. And they were such a loved team, you hear, despite the fact the season ticket numbers dropped, despite the fact that they struggled a little bit, despite the fact the dollar pulled them away, and so many things pulled them away. Companies weren't invested. Like, people weren't invested in the team, despite this fandom and the love that people apparently had for them. I think building something like that would kind of just be a reminder of what left, and watching Teemu leave and do everything else and do everything elsewhere, and watching the team play in Arizona and remembering what it's like to see that team struggle when you know you could support them here, and remembering what it was like when that team came back and how downtown was before and what it's turning into now, not necessarily just because of the Jets, but as a repercussive effect and a community effect of the Jets coming back and people wanting to be back in that area, and kind of a turning point for the city as a whole. So don't build a statue as a
we love Teemu.
We love Teemu. Yeah. Build a statue as a we love this team. Let's not lose it again. As almost like a final goodbye to that, because as much as I like to think that the whole scenario, and it's nice to remember the Jets for what they were, that history, it isn't really the Jets history. It's more of a Winnipeg history.
Yeah.
So as much as, yes, True North, they own the rights to the new jersey, or the old jersey. They could, if they wanted to, potentially work something out and bring that old jersey back. I don't think they will, but doing something like building a Teemu statue, wearing the old jersey, could be a sign from them saying, yes, we're recognizing that history. Yes, we took that Jets name, but we're not forgetting that first team. We're not going to replicate that first team. But as a tribute and as a final goodbye to them, this is what we are now. Build it and let it be there. That would be how my consideration for it. It's not for a person. It's for something that was bigger than just Teemu.
Yeah, fair enough.
That makes sense in a way.
That's a great idea, I think.
That's what I would support. I agree with you to a point. Like, I feel like it's, he was great, but it would be like the Washington Wizards almost building a statue for Michael Jordan. Like, obviously it's a little disconnected there. Yeah. It's not the same thing. But Teemu didn't spend his whole career. Yeah, he had a great impact on this city. But how many guys have had great impacts for 3 years in one city, gone on and lived the rest of their career and done their greatest things
somewhere else,
elsewhere?
Yeah,
like he won most of his. He made his name a household hockey name in Anaheim. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, no, he absolutely did.
So,
Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, you guys might know him. First guy to ever dunk a basketball and break the net.
Nice.
He came to Winnipeg to coach the Cyclone for a few years.
Really?
He's in the NBA Hall of Fame. Did great things for the Cyclone. We should probably build him a statue in front of the convention center.
There you go. I remember going to Cyclone games. I used to go to those.
I remember playing it.
I remember those.
We played on a court at a halftime.
Yeah, we did.
Cyclone game.
Oh, no, wait. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was sick.
We got like autographs and stuff.
That's awesome. I definitely went to. What league was that?
That like IBA International Basketball. It's whatever.
Still around? Is that league still around?
F no.
No? Okay.
No.
They played in Winnipeg, Joe.
Well, hey, I don't know. Maybe there's like a bigger, wider community.
There's a Canadian basketball league now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, I definitely went to a couple of those games. I remember that. Vaguely remember it because I was pretty young, but...
Fair enough. So that kind of leads me into a second discussion, if we're talking about the jersey and stuff like that. The Jets brought back the old jerseys, technically in a way. It was, from what I perceive and what I remember, it was at the request of the Ducks to wear the old jerseys so they could have that whole thing going on as kind of a final tribute to Teemu. And that led to Jets fans everywhere.
Oh, that blew up. Yeah.
Drooling.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing that. And I will admit, those things looked slick.
Oh, yeah, they
looked really nice.
Yep. It's a very classic hockey jersey.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's like when the Oilers... I saw someone compare this and I thought that's exactly it. It's like when the Oilers decided, screw this, we're going to stop messing with things. We're going to go back to that 80s look with the orange, and that's what we're going to be. So those are the best Oilers jerseys.
Oh, they got rid of that drop?
Oh, yeah, they haven't had that for a while.
It's been,
okay.
Like, they still have to drop their name, but like it's
the logo.
The classic Oiler logo. It's not like that weird gear thing.
Gear,
It's not. It's the classic look, and I love it.
Yeah, it's nice.
I think that's kind of the thought that people are having on this now. I would love to see the Jets in those blues, because those blue jerseys are sick.
Yep.
I think they might use a little bit of a upgrade a little bit if you're ever going to bring them back. But should they ever bring them back?
It's, to me, that there's no issue with that. But I mean, it's been expressed over and over again how from True North that they don't want to live in the past, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something that we should be really realistically expecting.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty committed to saying, we are this now, we're not that. Mm-hmm. We're not the old Jets, we're the new Jets. So, move on, people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no issue with it. I'd like to see it. I think it'd be fun. It'd be cool. Every team has like their throwback jerseys or whatever. And right. I mean, the Jets 2.0 don't have a long history. I mean, obviously, unless you go back to Atlanta.
Like in Repville, Atlanta.
That's exactly it, right? And then that'll be just kind of weird because you're like, it's not in Atlanta anymore. So, I mean, they don't have a long history like the other teams do with their throwback jerseys.
Well, it's interesting because we talk about that and like, the Atlanta stuff, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if this was on purpose, but the Calgary Flames, if you look, Neil, if you want to, I don't know if you want to pull this up on the screen, pull up an old Atlanta Flames logo and then pull up a Calgary Flames jersey with the alternate A on it. I'm almost certain it's the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Like I don't know if that it is for sure. I have a feeling it was. I haven't really compared them side by side.
What do you want me to look for?
Look up NHL Atlanta Flames.
I thought you said the Atlanta Braves. I'm like, what the fuck?
And then try to find a current Calgary Flames jersey with one of their assistant captains' A's on the jersey.
Oh, I
think
see what you're saying.
Same thing.
Okay.
But just little things like that. Like the Jets still have like the Dan Snyder Award from Atlanta and stuff like that. The thing with bringing back the old jerseys, and I don't think you should, it's the whole, shouldn't care what other people think. They would get ripped apart by people as a whole because that's not the Jets' history technically. Mm-hmm. It's a Winnipeg history, but it's not Jets' history. So personally, I think let that be damned, like whatever, let people think what they want. But at the same time...
this is the Atlanta Flames?
That's the Atlanta Flames.
That's a nice,
logo.
I like that.
So they have this as their A on the Calgary?
I think so. So if you look up an old Calgary Flames, or just look up a current Calgary Flames jersey, who are their cap assistants right
now? Is Giordano the captain?
Yes.
Okay, then
I think so.
The alternate. I don't
nice
know.
spelling, Noonan.
Calgary Flames jersey. I guess we should keep talking about Neil's jersey.
Yeah. I'll look for an A here.
Yeah, try to see if you can find an assistant captain.
There's
a couple right there.
Where?
This guy's wearing.
Okay, so look at. See how the C is just regular?
Oh, yeah.
But look at the A.
Hey, you're right.
They use the Atlanta Flames. I don't know if I'm sure they did that on purpose, but they use the old Atlanta Flames logo.
Honestly, like
as
the
their
exact same thing.
Which I think is pretty cool. Because it's not necessarily a big flamboyant thing, but they're honoring their actual NHL history.
Yeah. Very tasteful way too.
Exactly. It's something subtle. It's easy. Like, I'd love if the Jets did something like that for Atlanta. Because let's be honest here, people hear shit talking the Thrashers all the time. It's like, oh, the whole Thrashers history. The Jets would not be here today if it was not for the Atlanta Thrashers. Yep. That's what it is. The Nordiques aren't back because the Colorado Avalanche are still a team. There's a reason the Jets got a team back. It's because the Atlanta Thrashers collapsed and the Jets were ready for it, and Winnipeg was ready for it. They would not be here without them. So I think give them something.
And there are tons of loyal fans.
Exactly. There's tons. Some of them have adopted their teams. There's still hockee fans in Atlanta.
Exactly.
They still exist.
It's the same as Florida. People rip on them. It's like, oh, their fans are terrible. It's like, well, what about
still
all those
do have
people?
fans.
What about all those people who actually do stick it out? And
yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of them, but there are still people there.
Yeah.
It's not gone to nothingness. So I don't know. I would love to see those old jerseys come back. They're awesome. They're sweet jerseys. We have in our logo a throwback to those old jerseys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd almost rather they have like either it's an old Jets jersey subtle throwback to them or an old Atlanta subtle throwback. I think you need something close to it or something that people can recognize it. But yeah, that's cool without it being exactly the same.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Not the exact same ones that they wore for the Solani thing.
Yeah.
Because those were essentially
I think it's just got to that point where I don't know. I just don't think you can pick and choose certain pieces of history to either respect or disrespect, or not necessarily disrespect, but ignore. I think you got to either embrace it all or embrace none of it. And yeah, you could say embracing the Jets name is some of it instead of all of it, but different circumstance in my opinion.
Do other teams have throwback jersey nights?
Well, they'll do like their old.
Yeah, they'll have like the Leafs, their Winter Classic jerseys they wore. Those were kind of a throwback. Their third jerseys those right now were a throwback to last year. They won the Cup.
Columbus had an older jersey that they wore a couple nights ago.
The Coyotes are having a throwback next to their original jerseys.
Those are the best jerseys ever.
Yeah, in March they're having a throwback to those original.
Yes, it's like a digital
stupid jerseys.
It looks like a pixelated coyote with a hockey stick. It's amazing.
They're having a throwback to that sometime in March.
Looking
forward to that.
Love those jerseys.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember playing video games with these ones.
Yeah, exactly. So, they do have them, and I don't know. I just that old thing.
One.
I hope they sell them again. If they sell one, I will seriously consider buying it.
Actually, awesome.
They're so sweet. Oh God, what is that?
Yeah,
there we go. That's a good one.
That's a beautiful jersey.
It's hideous, but it's also beautiful. It's so ugly, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got little skate blades on.
That's a super.
It's got half of a coyote goalie mask.
That.
Oh, and a Winnipeg Jets jersey.
That looks really nice.
It does look nice.
Numanen. Good stuff.
All right. So one of our last topics before we get into our regular stuff. Kevin Cheveldayoff. His name has been talked about a lot lately as being, I think a lot of the Chevy supporters over the past saying, haha, look what he's done, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to give a full evaluation because I've ragged on him before, obviously. And he's doing well right now. For their team's doing well right now. But I think you look at a GM at the end of his career with the team, and that's how you make your ultimate decision on what he was good or not, good or bad, and overall picture of things. As much as I don't necessarily believe it takes 5 years to build a team, I think you need to give a GM 5 years as a whole before you can look at what he's done and truly say good or bad.
Yeah.
You can hate or love moves along the way. I've said he should be fired before, but again, got to give him some time to actually build his product, and that's coming up next year, I think, is a 5-year point. My question right now, though, what are your thoughts on Kevin Cheveldayoff as a GM at this moment?
At this moment, he has me kind of in between. He's done there's been so many times when we've talked on this podcast, every single time when we think there should be something done, something changed, and nothing happens. You know, the classic Stan Pat Chevy that's been going around. I mean, that doesn't come out of nowhere. That is founded. Yeah. But at the same time, you can't ignore he got Perreault. You can't ignore that he got Perreault, which we said is one of the best free agent signings, if not the best of the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't just throw those to the wayside and said, yeah, but he didn't do this or this or this, right? So he's got me in between right now. Obviously, there was tons of talk during the World Juniors about how all the Jets prospects were ripping it up, and that's awesome, but yes, they're just prospects, so, you know, take that for what it is. So he's got me in an in-between spot right now. I'm not ready to say that I completely hate him, because you can't ignore the good things that he's done, because he has done some good things.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating at times with the not being willing to bring players up from the AHL necessarily all the time, the not making moves. You know, he's done one or two trades, you know, picking up questionable players off waivers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That makes you kind of go back the other way, and you're like, oh, Does he really know what he's doing? I don't know. And then Perreault comes out, and you're like, "Oh, good job, Chevy! Like, you kind of know what you're doing." And then it goes the other way again, and you're like, "I don't know, man." So,
no, I think I know what you're saying. I think I'm in the same boat as you as a whole, in that I'm not ready to say, "Oh, you're such a great GM, Chevy," because Chris Thorburn.
I don't think anybody's ready for that.
Mark Stewart. Scan some Twitter fans, man. Like, there are a lot of people throwing it in people's faces right now, specifically anyone who works for Arctic Ice and anything else. We get shit thrown in our face saying that we are all idiots because we obviously didn't see it. Things like Chris Thorburn. People keep talking about, all these great prospects are coming up. Okay, what are you going to do with Chris Thorburn? You got to make room somewhere.
Yeah.
Mark Stewart. Oh, Josh Morrissey's coming up, blah, 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 blah. So
where's he going to play?
Where's he going to play? Ben Sherratt's playing great. Just going to get rid of Ben Sherratt for Mark Stewart because you signed him for 3 years? What about Grant Klitzem? Same contract. Stick around. What are you going to do? Unless he retires, you're stuck with one of them.
Yeah.
Same player.
Still paying him.
Andre Pavlik's contract. Still, book's pretty much done on him.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He's still around. You didn't make a move on him.
You let him off the hook.
Let him off the hook. For every good move Chevy's made, there is one to counter it.
Yeah, it's true.
He brought in Michael Hutchinson. He's the one who acquired him. Mm-hmm. Might have been a shot in the dark. Whatever.
Goalies are one of those tough ones. So.
Draft record with him, again, I don't think it's just him. I don't think anything's just him. But he's the head man. Draft record's pretty good. Like you said, Perreault, my book's out on whether or not this was a good move or not, depending on if he gets re-signed.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because signing him to 1 year could end up being a terrible, terrible decision. They could have probably got him for a lot cheaper than what he's asking for this year.
Mm-hmm. And there could be another situation coming up of positive, negative, right?
Exactly.
Getting Perreault positive, maybe having to let him go for nothing, or giving him way too much money because now his value's risen.
Yeah.
Negative.
Pro, great move.
Yeah.
Book's still on the Bogosian contract. I think Enstrom's contract was a good one, getting him locked up. I think Kane's contract, getting him locked up when he did, is a good one. Bufflin's going to be a big decision point. Ladd's going to be a big decision point coming up. He's got a lot of things he's got to figure out. At this point, I think if you would have asked me 3 months ago, I would have said having Kevin Cheveldayoff be the guy who has to make those decisions moving forward is a huge mistake. Right now, we'll see. I think these next couple weeks is a huge turning point for anybody's decision making. In my opinion, it could be the either saving point for me or the things are going to turn very bad very fast. This doesn't change. Is these next couple weeks. If Chevy sits there and does nothing, doesn't extend for a leak, doesn't get another third line player, lets things keep walking through these next couple weeks through the trade deadline, I'm scared. Because then you have to try to get for a leak signed before you're taking on a lot of unnecessary risks, in my opinion. And I think in hockey, you have to keep playing is this a smart risk kind of game?
Yeah.
Is this a good decision for me to take this risk? Because there's risks at every decision you make. Signing Andre Pavlik was a risk. It was a big risk that has not paid off. Letting for a leak signed for 1 year is another big risk that may not pay off.
We'll see if it pays off.
Exactly. Yeah. Letting Jacob Trouba come in, signing him when you did was a big risk, has paid off. Taking a swinger on Mark Scheifele when there are other guys available. Book's still out on that. Arby might say that's kind of settled. I don't think it is. I don't think Arby would say that. I think he said a lot of the evidence is kind of pointing that you could have made a better choice.
Yeah.
But I think Mark Scheifele's done okay in his situation so far. It's just, I think the book's still out. I don't think you can make your final decision yet. not buying out Pavlik, another risk you took that is looking kind of silly right now. So Chris Thorburn, a payoff that's ridiculous and no one understands.
Yeah.
So I think the book's still out on Chevy. I know that doesn't really answer any kind of question.
Nope, not at all.
But
It's good.
it's good discussion.
Nice little 20-minute
So
discussion.
I kind of wanted to get that off my
Nothing
chest.
decided. Like it.
Fan questions. Speaking of questions, we had a
Yeah.
couple questions that I wanted to address. They're both kind of silly questions because I don't want to be too serious. I actually have another one that came in while we were recording. I'm going to look at that while you're responding to this first one. From Kat at kitcat_p. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
How does it make it a sandwich?
Well, it's a piece of meat between two buns. Or two pieces of bread. I guess it's a sandwich.
When I read that, I thought the same thing, Joe.
I think it's a sandwich.
I think something that clarifies a sandwich
Yeah.
is having something
It has
surrounded by
something
bread.
between two. Although,
It's not really.
would they have to be separate? Like, does the two pieces of bread have to be separate? You know what I'm saying?
Give them as a hamburger a sandwich?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. How is a hamburger not a sandwich?
It's a burger.
But it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich burger. Or a burger sandwich.
It's not a.
I think it
No.
is. I think it is. Absolutely. So, sorry, just a sandwich. Okay, what's the difference between, like, let's say you have a panini or something, which is a sandwich. It's hot, right? It's got cheese, it's got meat, it's got veggies.
Okay, a burger's a better decision. I
Yes,
guess.
burger is
Burger's
definitely a
close. I don't think a
sandwich.
hot dog. Can...
Okay, well, think about this, though. If you have your hot dog, and you know sometimes the bun is, like, not very well held together at the bottom.
Most times.
And then and it breaks apart. Does it become a sandwich?
Oh, maybe it is.
Like, that's what, it's a pretty, it's a fine line.
Is it a sandwich?
Because I think any type of bread that's like containing substance, like containing what's
Something,
inside
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, that's
Like a wrap, or
Is a wrap
Yeah, but
a
a wrap's
sandwich?
not a sandwich.
is a taco a sandwich then?
No, taco's not a
Well,
sandwich.
if taco's not a sandwich, then a hot dog's not a sandwich. Because
There you
like a
There's my
taco.
decision.
Okay, so it's not a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich.
I think if it breaks, if the bun breaks, which happens a lot, it's a sandwich. So I'll go 50-50.
From Google, a sandwich is a food item consisting of one or more types of food placed on or between slices of bread. Or, more generally, any dish wherein two or more pieces of bread serve as a container or wrapper for...
Okay, well,
Container.
is bun a bread? Is a bun
Yes.
bread?
Yes.
I'd say so. Of course.
Of course.
If you go to like the bread section, you got like bread, you got buns, you got everything.
Because it's loaf bread.
All right. Yeah, that's
Right?
fair.
Because I mean, like, yeah, what qualifies as bread?
Because it couldn't be. I was gonna say the shape, but then if you get a Subway sandwich,
Yeah, it's still bread.
it's
No.
it's the
Bread
same
is
kind of thing.
flour, water, yeast, all
yeah,
that shit.
exactly.
That's
It's just the
bread.
ingredients is what makes it, not the shape.
I
It's
don't-
a sandwich, man. It is. This is
Can you Google it? Okay, Siri.
I
Siri,
did.
tell me.
Yeah. I'm looking at all these definitions right now.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I see several sandwiches.
Don't Siri. Ah, you're just showing everyone how useless you are.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's awesome.
Google is a hot dog a sandwich. What does it say?
Wow, there's an entire article on this on The Guardian.
Okay, well, obviously we're not the only ones who've struggled with
This
this.
is a big cat. What have you done to our podcast?
This is the title of the article. Is a hot dog a sandwich? An extended mediation on the nature of America.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a
We're digging
sandwich.
deep now.
It's not. No, it can't be.
It is. I think it is. I honestly do. I honestly think it's a sandwich.
Oh, there's so much. This is like a 1,000-word story I'm going on here. Oh, hot dog is most definitely a sandwich, America. That's
absolutely.
what Gawker says. Gawker's pretty.
I don't. It just doesn't seem like it should be.
I know it doesn't seem like it should be, but I mean, if we're talking like if we're getting down to the
Down
nitty gritty,
dirty?
yeah. If we're getting into the nitty gritty here, I think it's a sandwich.
There's a lot going on here. I would love to hear what the people have to say.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
get some.
Is a
opinions
hot dog
on
a
this.
sandwich?
I want to hear your opinions and like give us some justification with it too. Don't just say yeah.
Don't
it's a
just say yes or
sandwich
no. Tell us yes.
Give
I
us-
want an explanation.
Yeah.
You can email us, jetstreampodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you can't fit it into 140 characters or less,
Yes.
email us.
Don't send us like 87 tweets.
Yeah,
Just
part
send us
one,
one email.
part two, part three, part four.
If you're going to lose track of the number of parts
Yeah.
in your series of tweets, just send us an email. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
In conclusion, hot dogs are not a sandwich. 80 tweets later.
Exactly. Damn.
This is important stuff, guys.
Kat, you broke the podcast.
Yep.
Thanks for nothing.
Cat's really pretty, by the way.
Game over.
Hear that, Kat? She tweets about how she's single all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Kat, I hope you're listening.
We should go out for hot dogs.
Yeah. You want to go get some sandwiches?
Bring her to a hot dog stand.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, actually, what is your opinion, Ken?
No, I feel like I've heard her tweet it before. I'm just not
okay.
sure.
Well, I'd like to
I
see
should have
what
saw
her
this coming
thoughts.
because I see her tweet this all the time.
I should have. We should get her thoughts on it as well. I want to know.
Cat, my opinion of you will change drastically.
Yes,
Thumbs.
absolutely.
The pressure is on.
Yep.
All right. Next question from, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. Maximustushia? How do you say that? From Mathieu Perreault.
Yeah,
Mathieu
that's
Perreault.
awesome.
That is an amazing name.
Had that for a while. I love that.
Maximus
Nice, not bad, Joe.
That's what I'm going for.
Not bad.
That's why I do the spelling bee, guys. You know.
Exactly. You
That's
can pronounce
so
things really well.
You know what? Mathieu Perreault would be a good spelling bee. Because as soon as we started talking about him, I
yeah.
Googled him, and I was so wrong.
Yeah, his name.
People
is tough to
forget
spell.
the A in his name all the time.
And
apparently.
Speaking of
T
names
at
that
the
are
end?
hard to spell, okay, Ben Sherratt. I've always spelled his last name. I always forget how to, like, is it the I first, the A first?
It's I first, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
The only reason I remember that now is because Kara said she just thinks of Chia Pets.
Okay.
And that's how she
I
remembers.
always
and I'm like,
remember it as
perfect.
I always remember it as Chia Rot. That
Yeah,
way
exactly.
I don't get
Chia
it.
Rot.
Yeah, Chia Rot. Yeah.
Ben Sherratt is a rotting chia pet.
Okay.
My goodness.
All right, from Mathieu Perreault.
Damn.
But he's a lot better at hockey than a rotting chia pet.
Fair
From Mathieu Perreault.
Matthew.
Do Leafs still suck? And why is the answer always yes? Well, first of all,
Not as
fuck
much
you.
as they used to.
1967.
Not as much as they did last week.
I'm glad you asked this question because I needed a reason to bring this up.
Of course. God damn
Come
it.
on, Matthew.
Everyone throw some shade to Matthew.
The Leafs are not as bad as they were under Carlisle.
Obviously not. That would be
Horacek
really...
is getting the worst PDO the Leafs have seen in years. It's not his fault his goaltending has stopped being amazing for unrealistic amounts. They are not letting shots face the net. They're getting just as many, if not more, scoring chances. The scoring chances have not disappeared because of this guy. Shut up, Toronto media. You're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Well, we already knew that.
I'm gonna do it
AKA,
again.
you're fucked.
That's my favorite one.
Me too. I
Oh,
like it.
it applies for everything.
But to more succinct answer, which I think I already answered earlier in the podcast, Matthew.
Podcast.
It's because I'm a fan of the Leafs and I cannot be happy.
No, it's not. Also, that's true. Yeah, you're not.
So that is why they suck, and that is why the answer is always yes.
Karate chop the table aggressively.
I'm angry.
Yeah, these sound levels are going to be tough to edit.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners.
So many karate chops. That's what this is, by the way. That's a karate chop.
Final question that came 19 minutes ago from Trevor at TJ_Ballin on Twitter.
This is not him.
That is not him. Whoops.
Well, no, you can actually show that other one because we kind of mentioned that earlier. That was one of the responses that we had today. Was Kenny B at Ken Brosowski said, "I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on what the Jets will do to help guys on the ice."
Okay, so that's what we
So
talked
basically, we were talking about it earlier. Joe. Wow, Joe thinks they'll do nothing.
Obviously.
I
No,
hope
no, no.
do
They'll do something. They'll move Thorburn to the third line, which is already
there
happening.
you
It's
go.
happening right now.
There you go. I do think he'll make a trade. I don't know if it'll be good or bad because who really knows. But I think they'll do something because they have to. They have to. I don't think it's just going to be straight waiver decisions. I think they will make a trade.
Okay.
I'm just scared.
But no call-ups. We're not thinking call-ups.
I don't think it's going to be.
I'm not thinking either. I'm just...
I don't think it will be.
Okay.
Final question from Trevor. Would you just get in there? Hashtag JetStream question. When will Tammy make an full appearance on the pod?
Oh, boy.
Tammy is my mother. Her appearance comes in the form of baking.
Yeah, that's true. She's been on the podcast twice.
So that's
Christmas.
That's about as
Every Christmas, Tammy drops by and gives us some delicious baked goods.
that's about the extent of how much she's actually going to be on this show because I'll just get angry if I hear her talk hockey for too long. Love you, Mom. Okay. We've come to that wonderful time where Joe graces us all with a great team.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Joe's great team of the week.
So, great team of the week for this week. Probably the great team of the week that I've chosen on the smallest sample size. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Wild. Now, let me explain. Because people are going to be thinking, wow, they were really bad like 5 days ago. And you're right. They were terrible 5 days ago.
Their goaltending was terrible.
Yeah, sorry, their goaltending was terrible. But after acquiring Devin Dubnyk from Arizona on Wednesday, started the next night against Buffalo. I mean, granted, it's Buffalo, but still. They beat them 7-0, which, I mean, any NHL team beating 7-0, it's big. Doesn't matter if it's just Buffalo.
Not if Andre Pavlik has a good game the next day, Joe.
Yeah, sorry, don't. Yeah. Anyways, his first game with Minnesota, posts a shutout against Buffalo. Then on Saturday, plays against his old team that he's just traded from on Wednesday, and beats them. I think it was 3-1. He allowed 1 goal on 26 shots, 962 save percentage. So great team of the week, Minnesota Wild. Although it's not really a full week, it's more like the past 5 days.
I'm going to support you in that decision.
Sweet, I'll take that.
I think Mathieu Perreault might have deserved it, but I'm gonna support you in that decision.
Qualifier. The Jets were were a team that I considered for great team of the week, but I was like, you know what? We're gonna talk the entire time about the stuff the Jets have been doing.
I know what you're doing here, Joe.
So, what?
You're saving the Jets' great team of the week for when they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, like, to be realistic, though.
I know you.
To be realistic, though, we talk about the Jets for the whole first part of the podcast.
That's true.
Anything that I bring up after for why they're the great team of the week, we'll have already talked about.
We'll just be like, what they said.
What exactly. The Jets
said.
are the great team of the week because of the stuff we said before.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Jets were amazing this week. They do deserve a great team of the week, but I mean, it's just too easy.
Do more.
It's just too easy. Yeah.
I do agree with you with the Minnesota Wild choice. One, because they did not fire Mike Yao.
They addressed their actual problem.
Yeah, they addressed their actual problem.
Imagine that.
Mike Yao, yeah, the Wild have suffered a little bit possession-wise. But as a whole, what the hell is the guy supposed to do when he gets no goaltending?
Yeah.
None. At all. Period. Zilch. Zippo. He's supposed to yell at them, which he did, which was hilariously awesome. Yeah. But then they went out and got a goaltender. Devin Dubnyk had one bad stretch in Edmonton. Behind the Edmonton Oilers.
And he was written off.
And he was just gone.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good goaltender for the Minnesota Wild. I think he's going to have a good year.
So far he has.
I think he's going to turn things... Like, he will not alone turn things around, but I think he will be a reason why the Wild become a conversation again in this stand.
He did pretty well for Arizona. I mean, Mike Smith started the year off and was terrible for the first few weeks, and then
pretty terrible.
Devin Dubnyk stepped in and got them some points. So, I mean, he's been doing well.
Devin Dubnyk's better than what people remember him as from that last year.
Absolutely.
He had I think league average save percentage behind some atrocious Edmonton Oilers teams. Yeah. So, Wild fans, if you're listening, I don't know why you would, because why would you listen to a Jets podcast?
Because it's sweet.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
Other than us being fucking amazing.
Jeez.
You got yourself a decent goaltender, I think. We learned some things. I'm going to take the reins and go first here, because mine's directly for Neil.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I learned something that I was going to tweet at Neil, but I said, you know what? I'm going to save it. And I want to see the expression on his face when he learns this.
All right.
Neil, I know you're a fan of Kate Burness, right?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
She's going to the Jets game on Wednesday.
All right. Yeah.
She's going to be in this city.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's cute. She's smart. She's funny.
Neil wrapped Kate Burness up in one sentence for me one time, and that's how I always refer to her as. He said, Kate Burness is like a Vulpix.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, yeah.
And that was perfect.
The Pokemon. If anybody's not familiar with Pokemon,
then just stop listening.
Yeah. Or familiarize yourself. Yeah, like now.
Yeah. Familiarize yourself.
With the first 150, please, not the new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go back to like 2001.
Yeah. I have a Game Boy Color Pokemon Gold that has some of the new ones, but it's got the original 150 in it still. I'll lend it to you for like a week. You can learn.
Yeah.
Just learn.
So why is she coming to the game?
I don't know. I didn't think you'd care.
What?
Yeah, you need to get tickets right now.
Just get yourself some tickets for Wednesday's game and let fate take care of itself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's what I learned this week. It's a Kate Burness. It's coming to Winnipeg.
And soon to be new Mrs. Newton?
Soon to be Kate Noonan.
Well, if I can take... Yeah. Maybe if I can take her to get hot dogs.
Yeah. It's to ask you, like, you want to go get some sandwiches?
You dropped cat hard there, eh?
Yeah, that was fast.
Well, it's for the Vulpix, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, ask her. Actually, here's a good way to know if you really want to like spend the rest of your life with her. Just ask her if you want to go get a sandwich, and then take her to the hot dog stand. See what she says. If she's like, "That's not a sandwich." You can be like, we're done.
I'll be waiting.
This is over.
Just kidding. Wouldn't be doing that.
There she is.
There's Neil's girl. She is coming to Winnipeg.
And there's a Vulpix. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
The resemblance is.
It is amazing. Yeah, honestly.
Look, she's got the curls and everything. Reddish hair. Then you go back to the... There you go. See?
Yeah, same thing.
It's a freaking Vulpix. And her, one of her co-hosts on SportsCenter, the other girl, looks like a Bellsprout.
No way.
I'll see if I can find dig into the...
Yeah. All right. Let's get... While Neil does that...
Oh my god.
Joe, what did you learn this week?
What I learned this week is that it is possible to score from 3 feet behind the goal line if you are Henrik Zetterberg. Because he did it.
I have not seen this.
It's pretty impressive.
That is aggressively loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Against a Nashville team
against Nashville.
who keeps losing because Pekarine's hurt.
Yeah. This was Saturday night, I guess.
Poor Pecker.
This is your thing, Joe.
Well, it's just the goal. I don't really care when it happened. I'm pretty sure it was Saturday night. Well, I'll say it's Saturday night. Definitely Saturday night. Yeah, so he brought it down below the goal line, and he literally, like, probably 2 to 3 feet over the goal line to, like, he looked like he was going to go circle around the back of the net. But instead, he decided to shoot it from negative angle and bounced it off the back of... Who's their backup?
Who cares?
Yeah, don't even know. Anyways, bounced it off the back of his helmet.
It wasn't Carter Hutton. I know that. He was another guy.
And into the net, and he scored.
All right.
I'm not going to turn the volume down. I'm just going to turn our monitor volume
Okay.
down.
All right.
For everybody at home.
Red Wings' fourth best power play in the National Hockey League goes to work. Zetterberg.
What? How?
The replay is way better.
What do we got here? Now the referee just...
I didn't even see the
He's just like, yeah, I was in.
Mazonitz.
Why are they even talking? The referee went like everything was dead. What's this? Oh, wow. Off his shoulder.
You're right,
eh?
Like, just 1 degree
and up into the top corner. Watch this thing.
That's a great
Look,
angle.
Look how far
Watch
behind
this thing come off here.
the goal line he
Off
is.
it and go over here. Look at this.
Did that hit his helmet?
Yeah.
Oh.
The back
Not
of
yet.
it.
And there, it's going to hit right over there. Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, and like, honestly, from about 2 feet behind the goal line.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I love how he's just like, it's in.
Yeah, when he
Chill.
went to go celebrate, there's like zoom in on his face, and he was just like, "Yeah, I was in, whatever, man." Like,
That was impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that can happen. So
He is
there's a
good
new one
at the hockey.
There's a new one for you to try. If you're looking to shake things up, maybe you're in a little bit of a scoring slump in your beer league. Just toss one on net from behind.
Why are you looking directly at me as you say that, Joe?
Are you in a scoring slump right now?
Actually, no. I scored a couple goals in my last 3 games. I have 2 goals.
There you go. So, anyways,
I mean, it would be a fair guess to look at me because I don't score that much, but I get a lot of assists.
it's worth it to try because apparently it's possible. So if the goalie goes down and you're 3 feet behind the net, just
Shoot at his face.
give her a shot. Why not?
Actually, in our league, if you hit the goalie in the mask, usually, it's up to the ref. They can blow it dead. So I feel like if that would ever happen, they'd blow the play dead.
That would be. I guess that wouldn't even have counted international then, hey?
I guess not.
Because they blow it dead as soon as it
don't they?
touches the mask. So that wouldn't even have counted if this was in the Olympics,
Stupid international hockey.
being all safe and whatnot.
Yeah. Who needs safety?
Yeah.
Neil, what did you learn?
That this video exists. I'm going to show you guys right away. Oh, wow. What's happening?
What is this?
Aw, please work.
Is it more Zemgus?
No, it's...
Simgus green. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Key of Bards.
Washing TSN late one night, when my eyes beheld a frightening sight. From this monster of a man on the blue line, hit Francois Beauchemin and removed his sign. Slash. He did the buffling back, threw Doughty down the crash.
I love Truba,
Panic,
but
Clarkson
Buffin's my
track.
new favorite player.
He shouldn't have to
Give him more cash.
weak-kneed teams in the NHL East to the tougher West, where they rush the crease. The wingers know that if they move too slow, they'll be destroyed by the pride of Bill Rousseau. Buff does a monster mash. He makes opponents crash. They wind up on their ass. They wind up with bold rash. The leaf-hating team is having fun. The party had just begun. The victims included Phil Kessel, Panic, and Clarkson. The scene was rocking, all were digging the hits. Dustin off his leash, being a one-man blitz. The corner crashers, lucky staying alive. On the ice, with a monster standing 6 foot
His
five.
face. Redmond's face.
Buff does a monster mash. He makes opponents crash. They wind up on their ass.
It's so disgusting,
You
by the
shouldn't
way.
have to last.
That's excellent.
Flip smash. They go down the flash.
Oh yeah, I was at the top of Jets Reddit today.
Wow.
Or this week.
That,
All right, Neil, I
That
just sent
is-
you a text with one more video that I want you to play.
Oh wow.
It's also in honor of Dustin Bufflin. It was made by Steve Dangle.
oh, this one's the yeah. I've seen this one.
Anybody who appreciates a little Mario
Yeah.
will appreciate this Instagram video
it's,
created by
yeah, I was just gonna say it's
Mr.
It's an Instagram.
Steven Dangle.
Hope this works. Hope this works.
There we go.
Oh, I hope this works. Come on, I hope
Come
this
on,
works.
you can do it.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Yes! Yeah! Oh my god! Steve Dangle, you're the king. That's amazing.
And then he just blows the
How
kiss.
great is that? I've watched that video like
Again,
100 times.
Again,
It's
yeah,
so good.
102, let's do
Every
this.
noise.
Okay, we're gonna have to tweet this out on our account because everybody listening right now is gonna have to stop what they're doing and watch this.
It's honestly like when you get the star and you're invincible.
It's
And you
amazing.
just go around hitting people and they just fly away and nothing happens
Oh
to
Yeah,
you.
my
exactly.
goodness. Unbelievable.
That
Unbelievable.
is uncanny.
Steve Dangle, you have inspired me.
Yeah, that is awesome.
It's so good. All right, Joe.
Time for a spelling
Show
bee.
everybody how stupid Neil and I are.
It's the SPELLINGB.
Haven't you gotten a bunch in a row?
Not lately. I missed a
Not the last
couple.
one, yeah.
Except after
I've been holding that cough for so long.
It's the spelling bee.
Yeah. All right, so I think you guys might have a shot at this one, but it,
Do there no music?
I pressed the damn space bar and it stopped the entire
Play it
recording.
again. Play it again. Play it again.
It's the
Yeah, there we
oh,
go.
it started from the top.
Yes, it
Okay.
started from the top.
All right.
We're listening to this.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have to edit the video.
Oh, don't edit shit. We can make mistakes.
Okay.
It's the spelling
Proof to everyone that we are an unedited podcast.
There we go. Anyways, like I was saying, I think you guys might have a shot at this one, but the backstory to it I could not deny because it was actually very interesting and I did not know this. Maybe you already knew. Anyways, spelling bee for this week. Fourth liner for the New York Islanders, Mr. Casey Cizikas.
Oh.
What?
First off, love the name because it reminds me of tzatziki sauce, and
Yes.
I love tzatziki sauce, obviously. Can you even say it again? Casey Cizikas.
Boom. I've got this one.
Yeah, I figured you would know that one.
Cizikas?
But just wait till you hear the backstory. I don't know if you've heard
Casey-
this before.
I don't know a lot about Casey Cizikas.
Well, then you probably haven't heard this. Yes.
Say it again?
Casey Cizikas.
What the? Oh my god.
All
right.
I think he's our age. Neil.
Casey,
I believe he's from
C-A-S-E-Y. You really give me a hint here, so I'm going with it. T-Z-I-C-I-Q-U-S.
T-Z-I-C, you said?
C-I-K-U-S.
K-U-S. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Travis.
Casey. C-A-S-E-Y.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Cizikas. C-I-Z-I-K-A-S.
Ah, Travis nailed it.
Wow.
Damn right.
I like how you threw in the TZ though.
Yeah,
for
you
tz-
threw me
for
off,
tzatziki
dude.
sauce.
You threw me off.
Sorry, that was misleading by me. Anyways, the story that goes along with this fellow, very interesting. I think he is your age, by the way. He's drafted in 2009, so that would make him.
Yeah, that's sorry.
That would
That's
make him
our
your year. Anyways, 2009. Actually, his draft year, he was found guilty of manslaughter.
What?
What?
Yeah, when
Casey Cizikas.
yeah, when he was judged to have used excessive force in tackling an opponent in a rugby game in 2007. The victim had suffered a major concussion 2 weeks before the incident, and a doctor testified actually in the courtroom that the concussion was bad enough that this guy should not have been engaging in physical activity for a year or more. Yet he was playing a rugby game 2 weeks later. Cizikas tackled him, died 2 days after that.
Wow.
One problem with that, doctor, you could not say that someone should not be participating in sports for a year or more
That's what he
until that time has come by.
That's what he said. Anyways.
But yes,
that's that. Interesting backstory.
That is crazy.
He got some community service and some other. He didn't have any time to serve. Oh, probation. It was some probation and community service. 100 hours of community service that he had to do for it. So, but the family of the victim were very adamant that he not be punished for it because they were like, it's not his fault. We don't support that he gets punished for it because he was just, doing what anybody else would do. Yeah, he was just playing the game and it was a bad accident. But yeah, it was, manslaughter. So it's pretty crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I find it really weird that even though the doctor willingly said the guy had a concussion that probably made it worse, he still got...
Yeah, I don't know. Because originally I saw this on Wikipedia and I was like, I almost don't believe this, so I had to look into it more and I found an actual credible news source and I was like, oh, this is real. Holy crap.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's nuts.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
The Islanders have some interesting stories on that team.
They do, yeah. There's some very interesting backstories.
All right, well, that about wraps up the Travis's Depressed episode of the JetStream podcast. You know what'll make me feel a lot better, though?
I think I know.
A little bit of ending music.
There it is. This will make everybody feel better. Regardless of your opinions on whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not, we can all agree on one thing, and that is that this music makes you feel good.
Best. So, let us know your thoughts on hot dogs as sandwiches. At JetStream Pod on Twitter.
I mean, if you take anything from this podcast,
is that you need to establish your own personal opinion
on whether or
not a hot dog is a sandwich.
That's really what we want you to take from this.
At JetStream Pod, hashtag JetStream, hashtag JetStream Hot Dog,
or hashtag JetStream Sandwich. Either one.
But they aren't the same thing, Joe.
Well, it depends. It depends.
Are we letting the final decision? Okay, on Arctic Ice, go to ArcticIceHockey.com.
Here we go. We're gonna make a vote.
There will be a poll on ArcticIceHockey.com asking, is a hot dog a sandwich? Let us know in that poll, and that is how this podcast will represent if a hot dog is a sandwich by the results of that poll. So go to ArcticIceHockey.com immediately following what I'm saying right now.
This is important stuff.
Yeah.
And vote in that poll. It's on the front page of Arctic Ice. You'll find it easily, the most recent episode, and make a vote. You can email us your opinions, at jetstreampodcast@gmail.com. Go to the website, www.jetstreampodcast.com. You can find links there to our email, to our Twitter, where you can tweet your votes at us. Make it very adamant. Let Joe know that he is wrong. Let Neil know that he is wrong. That a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Okay.
It's not a sandwich.
Well, the jury's still out. I guess we're going to have to wait.
If you want to tell me I am so right, you can tweet at me at THRUBENIUK. If you want to tweet at Joe and tell him he's wrong, that's at JW_Clark20. Tell Neil he's wrong at NEILNOONAN at Neil Noonan on Twitter. Subscribe and rate us on iTunes. If you want to subscribe to us, rate us, and in the comments, tell people your thoughts on hot dogs and sandwiches. You can do that on iTunes as well. Just make sure you subscribe and rate us first. It'd be greatly appreciated. 5 stars and say whether or not, just subject line, hot dogs are sandwiches, hot dogs are not sandwiches, and say this is the most important debate that has ever happened on this podcast.
So true. Not even, it's not even close.
This is the most important thing we've ever talked about.
I agree.
We're going to change the world with the results of this.
I agree.
Thank you guys for listening. You listen on SoundCloud, Max Sports channels. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Makes it a heck of a lot easier for you to actually get our content the second it comes out. You can do as Pitty does. Watch us on YouTube. He gets notifications as soon as the video is posted. Thank you guys for listening. It's been a great week for the Jets. Not a great day for Travis. But you know what? That's okay. Kind of. Jets keep winning. Hopefully. We're playing Arizona right now. We're going to watch the rest of that game. See, Joe's going to the ODR. Have a good night, everybody. So long.